Hello, guerreras and guerreros. Welcome to the Driven Latinas podcast, the ultimate destination for inspiration, motivation, and success strategies. I am your host, Alex.
And Laura.
And we are thrilled to embark on this empowering journey with you.
Are you ready to unleash the force within you and embrace the power of being a driven Latina? Well, you're in the right place. We'll dive deep into meaningful conversations with incredible people who have conquered challenges, shattered glass ceilings, and carved their path to success.
Join us as we explore the stories of bold, passionate Latinas who have not only overcome adversity, but have thrived in the process. We're not just talking about career success. We're delving into the essence of what it means to be a powerhouse in every aspect of life, career, relationships, and personal growth.
Get ready for a dose of inspiration sprinkled with laughter, wisdom, and a touch of cultura. This is not just a podcast, it's a movement. So buckle up because we're about to redefine what it means to be a driven Latina.
Hello, guerreras and guerreros. This is Alex.
And Laura.
And today we are going to talk about family traditions. Because the holidays are near, we want to make sure we share all our Mexican family traditions that some we've come up with and some have been going on for years. And so with that being said, let's get this show on the road.
So starting off really quick, I want to say we have a special guest today in our special today, which we're going to talk about Mexican traditions, especially around the holidays. We have, as you can see in the camera, and if not, you can hear, Yesenia is here. Give a little hi.
Hi, guerreras y guerreros.
I know. She has the sweetest voice, and also she's our little sister. So we're excited to have her on our podcast. We've been saying it, and today we made that
manifested it.
Yes, come true. So
that's right. So we can go ahead and start. I think we have so much to talk about. We wanted to talk and raise awareness of like the Mexican culture for those that may not be aware with the Mexican culture, but then also a lot of you may relate to a lot of the things that we're going to say that we have done for our family traditions. So should we start off with the posadas that we have done for
love that
season, for the reason for the season?
Yes. So when we were growing up, our aunts always had a Niño Dios, right? Like a baby Jesus. And so we would go over to one of their houses. And I remember it was always a little, not an argument, but like a kind of like, it's my turn. And it's my turn this year to host it at my house. And so I remember us all driving to my aunt's house. She would have baby Jesus in it was a cute little setup where he's like, laying on a little cradle, and they had all these baby little items, and they would have a ton of food. Everyone would bring an item of their choice, either a treat or I remember these Mexican hard candies that they would have in this giant bowl. And so for all the kids, and they had a piñata, it was almost like a birthday party, right? For Jesus. And so we all would all sit in the living room, and we would pray to baby Jesus. So one of the aunts knew all the prayers, so she would lead the prayers. And I, for some reason, can never stare at someone when there's a serious conversation happening.
That would be me.
She triggers the giggles. Like I think it's a nervous thing. Like
I think it is a nervous thing. I think of it. I don't know why. In the quiet, supposed to be quiet situations, I just get anxious.
For example, our grandma's funeral.
Grandpa.
Our
funeral, I just
in Mexico.
It just, I don't know why I get like these. I know everyone's going to be like, but I get these laugh attacks. Sometimes.
I know, and I tell her I think it's nerves.
I think it is nerves.
I will literally look at her, and then I will have to look away, and then we start like, when your eyes get so teary because you want to laugh, and then like it just uncontrollable, we can't. And so anyways, that's what would happen in those posadas. I would have to not look at her because like my tia would go really fast with her prayer. Host that. And you have to repeat the prayer that she's saying. Yeah. So like people would mess up or like change the wording, and this one would look at me like we would have to laugh.
In those situations that you're not supposed to laugh because it's a serious situation, but then it makes you want to laugh more, and then you try to like not laugh, but then it's just like bubbles laugh, and then all of a sudden it comes out.
So anyway, back to the posada. I would have to not make eye contact with her at all or be by her because that is what would happen. And they would have all this food and everything. As we grew up, started getting older, like teenage years, we stopped those traditions because we just people, people have their own beliefs or whatnot. And so we currently, like for sure, I don't do posadas at my house, but I do know that
I
a lot of people, especially relatives of ours, still host them, which I think is still great because family still comes together, and of course that's one of the big purposes, right? Why you host these posadas is for family to come together. But no, I don't.
We still get together. We just don't do the actual posada piece. And I think a lot of it, maybe a lot of the younger generation feels this way. We lost like a lot of those super traditional values. Like we still pray and we still believe in God, but we don't necessarily do like the posada the way that our aunts did. I don't know all the prayers and all that stuff that they do. So like I haven't also kept it myself. But I do think like the value of it and the meaning behind it, we still believe. It's just that we've modernized a lot of it to fit like now the more modern world and like less of like the super strict religion and the super strict prayer. Like now we just do like self-prayer and we do celebrate. We know the reason for the season, but we're not as strict about it as like our aunts used to be.
I completely agree. Yes. Yeah. And so, but again, like Laura said, we still come together as a family. And I love that with her job, as you all know, she's visiting from Japan because of the holidays. We still get to see her and she is some of the ties because when she comes, my mom's like, oh, I have to go to Dallas now. I cannot miss an opportunity to see Laura because we don't see her all year because she lives in Japan. So she is kind of like the glue, right? That helps our family stay together. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, because it wasn't, if it wasn't for your effort to be here, like we wouldn't be here.
Exactly. You traveled from across the world to be here. So of course that making the 8-hour drive is going to be worth it.
It is really hard, I will say, because even when I was here, like living in Dallas, like close to everybody, it's very hard to get everyone, like all of our siblings. So like my tias, there were so many aunts. I think there's 8 of the siblings in total. So we grew up like getting together with all of those aunts. And so we've kind of kept that tradition alive because there's 6 of us, 6 siblings. So the 6 siblings, like we try to get together, but it's rare to have the 6 siblings. There's 6 of us, the 6 siblings together. And the reason for that is because people live out of town. People don't live in the same area.
We have a brother in New York. She lives in Japan. My sister lives in the Valley. My mom lives in the Valley. So
she's in Dallas. So we're all scattered around. So it's very hard to get like everyone in the same household for the holidays. But when it does happen, which just has happened, it's very special. I feel like we're always like, let's take a family picture because we know how special it is and we enjoy each other's company a lot more and appreciate each other's company because we know it's so rare for all of us to get together. But I do think we've kept some of the values like that our tias had, like with all the kids and everyone open your gifts. And one thing, I think this is different because when I went to Japan, I learned that they ask the other expats. So expats are like the other people like from America that go to Japan. We have a lot of those friends. And everyone celebrates Christmas on the 25th. And we're like, last year we celebrated it by ourselves. And we were like, we're going to celebrate it on the 24th. And I started thinking about it. And I think that's a very much like Latino, Hispanic thing to celebrate Christmas on the 24th. Because what happens is that we have like a party. And we have like the prayer and all of that on the 24th. And then at midnight, we used to open our gifts. And I remember like all of our little tiny cousins like staying up like super late, but also with adrenaline because they were going to open their gifts at midnight. And so we would all like, as soon as the clock hit 12, everyone would start like ripping the presents and be like so excited about it. It was like this big thing. And you felt like so special because you're like, what did Santa bring me? I will admit, I was like too old, honestly, embarrassingly old that I believed in Santa.
Oh my gosh.
I was like so old. I was like, Mom, like all obvious that I shouldn't have known by now, but I was like, Mom, we don't have a chimney. Like, how does Santa come? I'm not even kidding. I think I was like 12 years old and I was still believing.
But that's cute. That means that you had
I had hope.
The spirit of Christmas.
I was so well behaved. Because of Jesus and Santa, because of Jesus and Santa. But we loved it. We had all those traditions. And then I think one thing we really want to emphasize, like in this family traditions, is the food.
Yes, food is a big component to our festivities, right?
That's right. We have, I think the first thing we all wanna, like we all know is a staple for our family get-togethers is tamales. So you all have heard our episodes, and if you haven't, please go out and check them out. But we've talked about how our mom used to make tamales and sell tamales to make ends meet. So every Christmas time we have tamales, like homemade tamales by her, and it's so special to us.
Yes, and you never know how much you're gonna miss it until you move away from home and you don't get to have all those traditional dishes that your mom makes. It's just, especially you in Japan.
Yes.
You're the one that needs to speak on this
I
because you're
know.
so far away.
No, honestly, I didn't know that I missed Mexican food as much as I do know now. And I've been able to find 2 Mexican restaurants in Japan. And one of them, he's actually like, oh, this is like the craziest story. So we go to this like really, they call it a Tex-Mex restaurant. And I heard it from a Japanese like mentor. Like he's an executive in my company. And he told me, he's like, oh, if you want Mexican food, you should try this place because we've been there before and it's really good because this person has done an expat assignment in the U.S. So he in California, so he knows good Mexican food. He's like, it's really good. We end up going, me, my husband, and my little girl, and this restaurant has like the rice. Like you guys know, like our rice, like our southern rice is very specific to the region. And when I tasted the rice, I was like, oh my God, this is like mom's rice. And
I love that.
I was shocked. I was like, we need to talk to the chef because that's the thing we love about Japan, that you can talk, like you can ask to talk to the chef and he'll come. And it's like a local chef. He'll chit chat with you and he'll tell you the recipes and everything. So the lady goes and brings the chef and I'm talking to the chef. He is Latino and you're not going to believe this, but he was born and raised in Mission, Texas, which is where we are from.
Wow.
And he's in Japan and he now opened up his own restaurant. Anyways, sorry to sidetrack, but yes, Mexican food is super hard to find and you have a whole level of appreciation for it when it's not around you. And I know I found my hole in the walls, my taste of home. But it's not that I eat it every day because I don't go to the restaurant every day. And I can't even sell it. Like, I can't even buy it. I can't even buy it because they don't sell, like, for example, they don't sell jalapenos in Japan. Like, can you believe that?
Or avocados. I was
or
shocked.
sauce. Like, they sell avocados, but the avocados don't taste, like, good. Oh. They're not good. They just don't taste like they have any flavor. So they do sell them, the avocados, but they don't taste very well. So I always tell her, I was like, get ready because they're both coming to visit me. I'm like,
I'm going in June, guys, June this summer. So I'm excited. I can't wait to be immersed in the culture and everything. And yes, he's going to.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be awesome. But be warned, don't go with the expectation of eating Mexican food in Japan because you're going to miss it even the time that you're going to be there. But anyways, going back to like our traditions, like tamales are a staple that we had. So for those that don't know what tamales are, it's made out of, and I'm going to say some Spanish words and I'll try my best to think of the English word, but it's maíz de harina. So it's like this dough that's made out of corn. Like the essence is corn. And so for those, and I'm trying to describe it, like, for example, to someone in Japan. That's why I'm trying to figure out a way. Yeah, figure out a way of like how to describe it. But it's made out of that. You put it on a corn husk, so like it looks like a leaf. For example, you put the masa there, the dough, and then you put like your filling. So mom usually makes pork or
chicken. She'll do cheese sometimes with jalapeno. Oh my goodness,
so
mouth
good.
watering.
So you put it in the middle, and then you close the corn like leaf, or what is it called? Corn.
The corn leaf.
The corn leaf.
Hoja.
La hoja. And then when you close it, you have to steam it. So it's not cooked like on the grill or it's not like cooked directly on the fire. It's actually steamed. So those are tamales, and so you unwrap them. So I've seen some people that it's their first time eating tamales, and they're trying to eat it with the leaf.
Yes. So you have to unwrap the leaf.
So I'm always like, what? No. You're not going to get the good taste. Like, take the leaf off. So you unwrap it like a Christmas gift. And then there's your tamal with like so yummy, so good. It has red chili pepper. It has so many different spices in it. It is so good. And then we normally, as part of our tradition, is we create a tamalera.
Yes.
And
So-
that's like a line, like an assembly line of the tamales, of like how we're cooking the tamales.
So we all help as a team. So like somebody might be putting the dough onto the hoja, right, which is the corn leaf, and somebody might be putting in the filling. I usually did the filling and wrapping them because I was so bad at like
Yeah, usually an expert. An expert is the one that
Yes.
spreads the masa.
usually
like,
mom and my
yeah.
oldest sister, who actually has been keeping the traditions alive. One day you all will meet her. She has been keeping the tamale tradition alive and menudo. So we are
That's
so
right.
proud of her. Thanks, sis.
I know we need to step it up. Like I think that's gonna be my New Year's resolution. Whatever, I say that every year, but I want to get better at like traditional Mexican cooking, which I'm not normally at. But that's one of my things that I really want to start learning is like those traditional dishes. So I'm going to try my best next year. So 1 year from now, remind me and ask me if I was able to keep the tradition alive. But that's one. So one thing that, oh, and sorry, because I hit my megaphone. But one thing is the tamales. And then the other thing my mom always does that we love are the buñuelos.
Oh, those are delicious.
My favorite.
Yes.
I know. I can eat so many. That is just like a flour tortilla. A flour tortilla. Yeah, because I'm trying to say the tortilla English word, but I think it's just tortilla.
Yeah.
The flour tortilla, like with oil, like you just like
Fry it
on both sides, and then you put cinnamon and sugar, and then you just like
brown
sprinkle
sugar.
it.
Yeah. It's
It
so
is
good.
so good.
I
That
can't
is
wait
so
for
good.
us to eat that. So my mom is here visiting because, like, again, Laura's here. So she was already talking about all the different things she wants to make. And I'm like, yes. She said buñuelos, and those are one of my favorite.
I know. The other thing is menudo. Ale mentioned the menudo. That like is actually cow stomach. I know it sounds disgusting when I tell my Japan friends I'm like, there's this like Mexican broth that is so good. They're like, what does it have? And I'm like, oh, it has cow stomach. And
Oh my gosh, they're probably
"What?"
like, yuck.
Yeah.
But trust me,
But
when
it's
you eat it, it's really good. And then it has the maíz, right, which is like a different type
Yeah.
of corn, not your traditional corn, but
Yeah, it has like pasitas. Like I don't know how to say those, but it's like they're like white little like it kind like grains of like it kind of looks like corn, but like really really big, and those are so good. And it's also made with red chile. I have my little notes here because I was like, oh, I need to make sure I know what it's made out of if I'm going to talk about it. And the best way to eat it is to roll a tortilla like this.
a
like
corn tortilla.
a corn. This is not flour. This is a corn tortilla. You roll it and then you dip it in the broth and then you eat the tortilla. And it's like the
Mouth
best soup.
watering.
It is the best soup. But anyways, that is one of our traditions that we love to eat. And then also part of that menudo, you cut onions and cilantro. That's a
Yes.
must.
And you put it on top as your topping, and then
Yeah.
And squeeze
You
a
go to
little
town.
lime.
Oh, yeah, girl.
the
We almost
lime.
forgot about the lime. That's true. You squeeze a little lime, you mix it together. It's like such a staple for us to eat that also. Like not even just for Christmas. We
I
like to eat
know.
that on Sundays
on
too.
Sundays too.
As soon as it turns 60 degrees in the valley,
I
you
know.
know we're
Yes,
Popping it
menudo
out.
season.
Yeah,
menudo
popping that out.
season is on.
That's right. And also that reminds me, also the menudo, it's also a Sunday thing, but also barbacoa. So I don't know if this is not like only like, I know we said Mexican traditions on the holidays, but this is literally like almost every Sunday. We used to do this when we were back home. When I was here too, when I was in Dallas, I would call you guys and be like, hey, I have like barbacoa on Sunday. Like I was trying to keep that tradition. So when I come back, that's one thing my husband and I we were saying, like one of our favorite memories of spending time with you all is not like those super glam like or super awesome trips that we would take, but it was actually like those Sundays, like either football Sunday or the barbacoa Sunday in the morning. Like those are our best memories. So we want to recreate more of that, and we want to keep those tradition alive. But the barbacoa, very similar to the menudo, you add the cilantro and the onions and the lime too. So we love that. And for me, I don't know what you guys are, corn or flour girls, but I love my barbacoa with flour tortillas. What about you guys?
I think I'm corn for everything.
I can do two. I can
Both. Both. All of us are different. Everyone has their own. But yeah, that was one of my favorite things too. Like, and I miss that, so I'm gonna bring that back. The other holiday staple that we do is charro beans.
Oh yes, yummy with like bacon and
That's the appetizer.
onion and jalapenos, and you put your beans right, and you slow cook them on the stove for like 3 hours, 3.5 hours, and oh my goodness, y'all, they are so good. So that's your starter, right? Your appetizer. So you pass around like a little foam cups, those little cheap cups with a spoon. You serve everybody, and then that's your starter before the big meal.
That's right. That is so good to me, and that's what I miss the most. Actually, in Japan, they don't have those charro beans. Like, they don't have those pinto beans that you need to make the charro. My friend, who I love her so much, she was like, she went to a international market, and she's like, I found these beans for you. And I was like, oh, let me see. They were not. Sorry, my friend. Sorry, friend. But they were like, I cooked them, but they were not it.
Oh no!
So
but that was sweet of her to think of you.
Yeah, that was super sweet. But they're literally like the fattest pinto, or they're not pinto beans, but the fattest beans I have ever seen.
You're like,
I was like, I saw the bag right away. I was like, it's a thought that counts, Laura. And I was like, thank you so much. I will try these out. But I tried to cook them, and they're not the same. So I am in desperate need of beans. I actually have not had beans since I've been here. So that's one thing that is a staple. Everyone should know that, I feel. That's like a really common item to have. And then I think that was all from my items that I forgot. For desserts, I cannot forget about these desserts. But we had the tres leches cake.
Yummy. Yes. So it's made out of 3 types of milk. So you have like your half and half, right? And then your regular milk. And then there's another evaporated milk that you put in. And then, of course, you can throw a little bit of vanilla extract in there for a little taste. Tasty taste. And then, yes. And then you, of course, do your little mixture, throw it on top of your already baked cake, and then you sit it into the fridge for a few hours. And oh my goodness, guys, it is delicious.
Gosh.
Delicious.
My mom makes all of this stuff.
Yes.
Like,
you top it off with some
Cool Whip. She
on
knows
top.
how to make the tres leches cake the best.
Yes, so you put up the Cool Whip topping on top, maybe sprinkle a little bit of nuts and whatnot as the toppings, a little bit of sliced strawberries, and then go to town. It's delicious.
Oh my gosh, it is so good because it's like soaked up. It's mouth-watering.
Mouth-watering. And then...
maybe, literally.
I know. We're like,
sorry about
hang
that.
on, I need a tissue.
I know. Sorry about that. Mouth-watering.
Yes. And so another thing is the chocolate, what do we call it?
The choco flan?
Well, my mom loves to make her choco flans also. Do you want to talk about how you make the choco flans? Or like how delicious they are?
I don't know either.
I can't vouch on how the process of making it, but I can vouch how good my mom makes it. It's so good.
We'll post the recipe on the notes.
Oh my goodness, we need to ask mom because mom is amazing. Honestly, she knows how to make because there's some moms or some people that they know how to make something very good, like the main dish or the dessert. My mom knows how to make it all.
Yes, so she does.
Yeah, it's
and
so good.
No, I was talking about the Abuelita chocolate. So there's a brand called Abuelita, and you throw in your chocolate, and again you use those 3 milks that you can use to make it like it's a different
like
consistency.
Spicy. Like not spicy,
No,
sorry,
not
like
spicy.
espesa.
It's a different consistency how the mixture
like
is.
Thicker.
And oh my gosh, guys, that chocolate, and for you all will probably know it as hot chocolate. To us, it's called Abuelita, chocolate de abuelita, so like grandma's chocolate.
Yeah.
That's literally what the brand is called, Abuelita.
Abuelita chocolate.
Yes, and so that is so good.
In
as
the
well.
morning, con conchas, like that is a staple too of Mexican culture. Like conchas
like
is
a sweet bread.
Sweet bread, pan dulce, like sweet bread with like I guess
It looks like a little turtle shell on top, but it's so good.
It is so good. And then that too with coffee for the grown-ups and then chocolate for the kids.
Yes.
So that's the next morning though. That's the next morning. Like that's on the 25th. When everybody's celebrating actual Christmas. We would have already celebrated and we're just eating cafe and conchas. So that's pretty much all of the food that I have. Is there anything else that you all want to share about traditions, Mexican traditions? Or have we pretty much covered them all?
I feel we have covered them all. I'm trying to think of
I feel like we forgot the entertainment.
Oh, of course.
The entertainment before, it would be one of us performing to our family.
Oh, yes.
Now I love to see your guys' my nieces and my niece like performing for us.
Yeah.
And like
so that is a tradition, and Yesenia even said it. She's like, I just loved just seeing them yesterday.
My like I'm the co-tia.
She really is.
Everybody loves her. And I literally have been told that Yesenia's a favorite tia. And I'm like, oh, I guess I'm not supposed to take offense. Like, I'm also a tia, but okay.
And I'm not claiming. They said it. They said it themselves.
The kids. Tell Laura. But you're the favorite. The second favorite. I'm like,
oh,
kids,
yeah,
don't
that's
say
what
that
they
to
tell
tia.
me. They're like, yeah, Yessie is my favorite. And then I will be like, what about me? Literally right next to them. And they're like, you're our second favorite.
Yeah, so like I love how they're so confident and they all perform like the songs that are unique to them. Yeah. It's like, oh, that is so Zach vibes, and that's so Cami vibe, and that's so Lily. Yeah. So seeing them like glow up and they get like out of their
little
shell.
Confidence growing. Yeah, so like Laura's daughter's 3, and she learned her choreography, right, in Japan, because they did a little Christmas talent show, and it was so cute to see her. She memorized everything, and Laura would play the music, and she had a little backdrop in the back with lights. It was a whole vibe. Yeah. And so she would do her little dance in front of my mom, and Yessie were like recording. So that is actually part of our tradition. So somebody, whether it's a kid or somebody that wants to show off their talent, everyone eggs them on and supports them, like, you go, that was perfect.
And also for us, I feel like one of the traditions that we do when we all get together too, like this is a modern tradition, not a traditional Mexican tradition. This is a Perez sisters invented tradition, but we will have a little dance ourselves.
We do a choreography.
Like
it's a thing. Again, we've all been in the drill dance team, so that was a thing that we did in high school. So I think it helps because it's fast for us to memorize the steps. So we'll be like 5, 6, 7, 8, and we'll come up with like a Christmas dance. Or I think one year we did like the Mean Girls Christmas dance that they do, and we all have like matching outfits.
But it's
a whole thing, guys. And even my husband's like, are you guys serious about this? Like, because
we're so serious,
and we're like, we're very serious.
We take our practice session very seriously.
Yes, and it's literally the day of. So to me, like, the outcome of the product is not like important. Like, I know it. Like, we do good. Don't get me wrong, we do a good job, but I feel like the process of actually doing it is so fun. Like, we're all laughing, we mess up and we're like all laughing and giggling, or we watch the recording back and we're like, oh my god, look at that person. And
yes,
we're just like,
it's so fun. And we blow it up on the TV, and everyone is watching and eating, snacking. It's just it's a whole vibe.
Yeah, it is such a like modern thing that we do. Of course, you guys know about Reels, or you guys know about TikToks and all that stuff.
We started that way before.
Yeah, we started that before with video cameras.
Yes, with like the real video cameras. So
yeah, and we love it. It's something that we've kept up, and it's just very fun, and it's very us. Like, we just love to do that stuff. And then also, I feel like we have added our own little spin to different things. Like, we'll have our own little foods. But I think that dance and our PJs, we've also done our PJs.
We do a tradition where we always get matching PJs, which I'm sure a lot of people do as well. But for us, is during New Year's or Christmas. It could be either or, but we'll all pick a color or a theme color. So especially for New Year's, we'll always say, okay, what color is the theme this year? And like this year, for example, we're doing pink. That's right. And for Barbie, so like kind of like the Barbie vibes with the pink, and everyone is where all our decorations are pink, and everyone's attire is pink. It's just a whole. I don't know. I didn't know that it was weird until like I started inviting people to our New Year's party, and I'm like, don't forget the theme is Barbie, and they get so excited. They're like, oh my gosh, we've never been to like
you guys have a theme color. Like, I know like my husband will tell people like, oh, I need to get a pink sweater for New Year's, and everybody's like, what, why? And he's like, oh, that's the theme this year. And I'm like,
last year was like a glittery white. I don't know. We just come up with like random.
There's always a color. So like literally in July, like, I know that this is crazy for some people, but in July people will start asking, maybe me and Ben,
so what's the
are
theme
like, what's the theme this year? What's the color? Because I need to be scouting out like my outfit like in advance in case I bump into it. Like, what's the theme? So like this year, like in July, I'm not even kidding, I know that sounds so early for a lot of people, but we were like, oh, it's pink. Like we decided it's going to be pink. And so we're ready.
Yes, the Barbie theme. So that's kind of like our inspiration, like the Barbie movie. So we're kind of circling and doing our whole vibe around that.
Oh, yeah. So and even our music is going to be to that vibe. Like,
I know. And so that's a modern thing that we incorporated. But again, it's just a new thing that hopefully our kids will eventually
do too. Like they can do like themes, or they could do music. Like,
yes. And you know what? I think it helps, guys, that we're all of us are almost all the same age, like, or closer in age. I won't say the same, like not that close, but we're all similar in age. And so I think that has helped in the sense of like everyone's wants to have fun. Like we don't have a big age gap, in other words.
Yeah, so I think like our older sister and our youngest brother maybe have the biggest age gap, but everybody is always like so welcoming and so like ready to have fun.
And nice and friendly. Like we all get along. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, for sure. That's one of my favorite things, because I already know like it's going to be a blast. Like with all my sisters, and we're always laughing. We're always like, you'll see, because we will post here when New Year's comes around. We're going to be all hanging out. Then you're going to see us all in our matching PJs.
Oh, that's going to be so cute. I can't wait.
Yeah, so those are our modern ways, but I would love to hear from our listeners too. Like, what are some Mexican traditions, like original traditions that we
Hispanic? Or Hispanic traditions that you're like, well, we do things this way, and we would love to hear from you. Yes, so make sure that you keep sending us your Instagram messages. We do see them, and especially Laura, when she's in Japan, she gets so much love, and like there's so many people when she comes to visit that have told her like, I lived through your stories. Like I absolutely love seeing like your journey in Japan, and I learned so much. And like even people like from my family, from my husband's family side that have watched her stories as well, they've mentioned like, I just love to learn so much, because on her stories she posts a history and like things like that, and she'll type out like a description of what images she's capturing. So I just really would encourage you all to follow us at Driven Latinas.
And also like
on Instagram.
With your stories, whatever you share with us, we'll share with others, so everyone can see. Like maybe we're just talking about the Mexican traditions, but you have, like Alice said, it could be all Latinos, it could be Hispanic, it could be anyone. Tell us what your traditions are, and we'll share it with everyone. And that way everyone can kind of know a little bit more about what others are doing, and learn a little bit about what the vibe is or the history of other traditions. So send that over to us. We would love to hear it. As always, we're always so happy to share a little bit about us, and we are willing to learn about you all.
I know. And with that being said, somos hermanas, and together we are Driven Latinas.